What is the dumbest thing you have done while horny? I ended up making out with and going home with an attractive but completely crazy woman who used to hang around our local bar. Back at her place she puts on her Lauryn Hill CD, strips completely naked, attempts to dance provocatively, we were both pretty drunk, and starts giving me a BJ. It was at this point her 18-year-old son wandered into the lounge and started protesting violently about what was going on. She tells him to fuck off and huge argument erupts between them. Remember, she's drunk and naked and I'm sitting on the sofa with my jeans around my ankles and a rapidly deflating hard-on. I came to my senses, zipped back up and GTFO. Apparently she's currently doing time for violently assaulting and attempting to stab her boyfriend, so I think I got off pretty light. Texted. It's been my experience that horny texting can be significantly worse than drunk texting. Didn't have a car at the time. My dumbass walked 4 miles to hers at 2 in the morning. Called multiple times, she was dead asleep. Dragged my blue balls another 4 miles back and cried myself to sleep. Jerked off in the private work bathroom, forgot to lock the door and the new guy walked in on me and he quit a week after. Unprotected sex on her period. Broke up the next week. She slept with a guy the day after. Got pregnant. Spent 9 months not knowing who the dad is. Prenatal tests illegal in my country. Wear protection, boys. Not me but my brother. He stuck it into the nozzle of a milking machine on the farm. He was 14 and it bruised the hell out of him. The swelling was bad and he had to show dad. He was okay but the rest of us thought it was funny. You can bet we milked it for all it was worth. Dug a penis-size hole in the ground. Filled it with packing grease. Fucked it. Drunkenly called a phone sex line, but was so horny and drunk that I didn't clue until after I hung up that I had used my father's landline instead of my cell phone. That was an awkward talk the next day. Left the house at 11 p.m. to drive 4 hours to have sex in a sleeping bag in a hotel, then had lunch with her parents the next morning. We have been married for 15 years this December, so it worked out. Texted my ex. Pretty much everything I have done while horny. It's just a generally undignified state to be in. Humped in between my sofa cushions to completion. Dropped $2,000 on strippers. In my defense, I was also high on coke. Fell in love. Worst attempt at a one-night stand ever, been together 3 years now. Trying to choke myself with a belt and ending up putting all the pressure on my arteries instead, which only got me the biggest nosebleed of my life and feeling dangerously lightheaded. Bang the neighbor. Never do it, you don't want clingy, angry, pissed off women living next door. Took Adderall and edges myself to porn for 20 straight hours. Had downloaded hundreds of vids and use eMedia Player Classic in a playlist to efficiently find all the hottest parts of the vid to edge to and then skip to the next one. Had to call in sick to work that Monday. I started Sat evening with Marathon. But I busted so bad I had to throw away my shirt. I once fucked a watermelon, that was really weird. Also kinda tricky getting the right hole size so that it actually was nice thrusting in and out of it. Felt really good though, up to the point where you feel guilty when throwing it away right after. Think icy hot cream would make an acceptable lube for jerking off. Spoiler alert. Ooh, this is interesting. Wait. No. Ouch. Hot ouch. In my defense, I was in my teens at the time. Drove an hour to pick up a boy from his parents' house, then an hour home to have sex. Then repeated the drive the next morning to drop him off. Edit. Since multiple people have pointed out my wording is a little strange, I did not have sex with a child, lol. I just meant a young guy. We were both 19. Edit 2. Yes, it was worth it. We were highly compatible. Which celebrities have famously gotten away with serious crimes? This is your regular reminder that Chris Brown violently assaulted Rihanna. In 1975, Aerosmith vocalist Steven Tyler convinced the parents of 14-year-old groupie Julia Holcomb to sign over guardianship to him so that she could live with him in Boston. Tyler, who was 27 at the time, dated and did drugs with Julia for 3 years before they eventually broke up after unplanned pregnancy which resulted in an abortion. Tyler then returned Julia to her parents at the age of 17. That's just barely scratching the tip of the iceberg, it gets more messed up the more you dig into it. But nevertheless, Tyler would continue his successful music career and even be inducted to the Hall of Fame in 2001. Seems like pretty much every rock and roll star from the 70s, 80s raped children. O.J. Simpson. We all know it. Caitlyn Jenner, drunkenly, vehicularly manslaughtered someone and basically got a slap on the wrist. Apparently it's slightly different as apparently it was an accident? I read about it years ago so it wasn't that fresh in my memory. Elvis Presley always had a thing for young girls and would invite them over for sleepovers. He was obsessed with virginal girls and called them cherries. Of course, he met his wife, Priscilla, when she was only 14. Yet people just shrugged this off and thought it was fine. Vince Neil killed someone drunk driving. Victor Salva, director of Jeepers Creepers. The man is a convicted pedophile who filmed himself molesting a 12-year-old boy and only served 15 months, still making movies now. John Hamm was charged in a violent hazing incident at his college fraternity that led to it being shut down in 1993. Hamm and his fraternity brothers nearly beat a pledge to death with a paddle, assaulted his genitals with a claw hammer, then set his pants on fire. The court let him go on the hazing charge on the condition that he would complete probation. Hamm shortly fled Texas before the court could file a new separate assault charge. Salman Khan, so many famous crimes, killing a black buck, hit and run with his car, etc. They even made a game on one of his crimes, and he got that game banned from Play Store. Note not the guy from Khan Academy. Marcos Alonso. A Spanish footballer who plays for Chelsea. He killed a 19-year-old girl while driving drunk and got away with little real punishment. Paul Rudd stole everyone's heart. Pretty sure Charlie Sheen has a lot to answer for yet has somehow never served any serious jail time. Aside from other numerous domestic abuse accusations in his past, he actually shot Kelly Preston in the arm during their relationship. I don't think anything came from that. Preston was probably just glad to get away alive. I do sometimes wonder how many DUIs get swept away here in Southern California. Ray Rice beat his wife unconscious in a hotel lobby and only got suspended for 4 games. That same year, Von Miller smoked weed in a legal state and also got a 4-game suspension. So not only did Ray Rice not go to jail, but the NFL told us they equate smoking pot to violent assault. Roman Polanski. He's had a hell of a life, but never faced up to this one. Creep. Bill Cosby raped a bunch of people and called it a day. Apparently he's getting a new show after getting out of prison on a technicality for drugging and raping people. Prince Andrew. Steve Tyler convincing the parents of a 14-year-old to sign over guardianship to him and then getting her pregnant is something that isn't scrutinized or condemned enough. I mean, if R. Kelly is a sexual predator, why does this guy seem to come out unscathed? By the way, in no way justifying what R. Kelly is alleged to have done. R. Kelly and his sex tape with a 14-year-old.